Mr. Clelland here for Clelland Maths. So we're doing National 5 Maths today. It's percentages time. We're going to go through the whole of percentages, calculator, non-calculator, reverse percentages, accumulation, and all these questions come from maths.scot, which is an excellent website, so get on that if you want to see more revision for this.
2014, paper 1, question 9. This was from 480,000 tickets were sold for a tennis tournament last year. This represents 80% of all available tickets. Calculate the total number of tickets that were available for this tournament. I know that 80% represents 480,000. And I want to know what's 100% going to be. So I need to get down to 1% maybe, or 10%, and then back up to 100%. In this case, I can see that 80 does go into 480,000, so I'll find 1% by dividing by 80. 480,000 divided by 80. So I can knock a 0 off straight away. 8 sixes is 48. 1, 2, 3 zeros left over. So I've got 6,000 for 1%, and therefore 100%, just times them by 100. Making sure I get all my zeros in, 600,000. And there we are.
This video is sponsored by Lecky, and they are offering viewers of this channel 30% off of any of their books. All you have to do is use the code Clelland Maths, and the link to their books is down below. Now let's look at a couple of their books to highlight. We've got National 5 Maths and Higher Maths, and these are complete revision and practice. 2 books in one. We cover the whole course. Here's a random page, for instance, working simultaneous equations algebraically. You can see how good that book is and how clear it looks. But also at the end, practice exam papers that look exactly like the SQA exam papers that are published. Discount code Clelland Maths. Click the link to order now. Example 2. SQA National 5 Maths 2021 paper 1 question 12 had a band sold 2,400 tickets for their gig in Edinburgh. This was 75% of the number of tickets sold for their gig in Glasgow. Calculate the number of tickets sold for their gig in Glasgow. So this is non-calculator. There's no time involved, so it's a reverse percentage. So we're doing 75% really. What's that worth? That's worth 2,400. And I need to get back to 100%. Lots of ways to do this. You can go down all the way to 1% if you want, go down to 10%, but just have a think. Does a number go into this and go into this that will make it easy? If I can get this down to 25%, say, does 3 go into the other side? Well, it does. So I'm going to go down by dividing by 3. Any way you want to divide, as long as you divide both sides the same. Well, 3 eighths is 24, so that's 800. So to get back to 100%, I just times by 4. So I get my 100%, which is equal to times by 4. 4 eighths is 32, 3,200. And that's it, we're done there. Example 3, in a 20% sale, a pair of jeans is priced at £48. What was the original price? In a 20% sale, so it means it's 20% off, I would imagine here, which means the jeans are worth 80%, and that is £48. And I need to get back somehow to £100. So I could go all the way down to 10%. I think I'll just do that actually. If I want to go down to 10%, I divide by 8. So I divide this side by 8. Don't know why that's there. Okay, 8 5s are 48, 6 is 48. 10% is worth £6. So 100% times it by 10, of course, is £60. And we're done there. Example 4. After a marketing campaign, the number of clients that an accountancy firm serves rises 15% to 164. How many clients had they before the campaign? So if it rises 15%, 115% represents 161. So if I just divide by 115%, so if I change that to 1.15, that's a decimal, that's still 161. And that means that if I divide by 1.15, on the left-hand side, I'll have 1, which means I've got 100%. So all I need to do is divide by 1.15 with a calculator, and we're done. So let's just do that. 100% must be 161 divided by 1.15. So I get my calculator. 161 divided by 1.15 is 140. And we're done there.
SQA National 5 Maths 2023 Paper 2 Question 6. Nadeem bought a flat last year. The value of that has increased by 8%. It's now worth 94,500. How much did he pay for the flat? There's no time in this question, so it's a reverse percentage. So it's increased by 8%, so that means that 94,500 equals 108%. So to get back to 100%, I just do 94500 divided by 1.08, changing that to a decimal. Or you can divide by 108 and times by 100 if you prefer. That gives me a grand total of 87,500.
Okay, example 6. A bank offers a fixed savings account. Example 6. A bank offers a fixed rate savings account in which the saver must lock away their money for 3 years at an annual interest rate of 2.5%. If I save £20,000, how much will I earn in total? It mentions away for 3 years, so this is accumulation. So step 1, I need to find my multiplier, 2.5%, so I'll do 100% plus 2.5%, 102.5%. Immediately change that to a decimal, which means divide by 100, 1.025. There's your key number, you get a mark for that. So then we've got 20,000, we're timesing by 1.025, and then we've got a power on it, which is 3 years, power of 3. There's 2 marks out of 3 usually. All you need to now do is work that out. So 20,000 times 1.025 power 3 is pound sign 21537. 0.8125, so round that to 81 because it's money, unless it says something else in the question. And we're done there. Example 7 on percentages with a calculator. A new car costs £25,000. It's projected to lose 15% of its value in the first 4 years. It mentions time again, 4 years. What will its value be after 4 years? Correct to 3 significant figures. So it's losing 15%, so 100 minus 15 is 85%. Immediately change that to a decimal by dividing by 100, 0.85. So now it's just timesing again, 25,000 times 0.85, and then it's how many years? 4. So the power of 4. Work that out in a calculator. Power of 4 is, I'll write down the answer, 13,050.15625. Now, it says correct to 3 significant figures for this last bit, so we need to do some rounding. So we round to the third place, which is here. So that becomes 1, 3, 5 next to that cut means I round up to 1, and then I fill in zeros for the rest, but only up to the point. I don't need 0.000. So it's 113,100, and we're done there. SQA National 5 Maths 2014, Paper 2, Question 1. There are 964 pupils on the roll at Aberleven High School. It is forecast the roll will decrease by 15% per year. What will it be after 3 years? So it's going down by 15%. So if I start off with 100% and take away 15%, that gets me to 85%, which as a decimal is 0.85. That's my multiplier. So I take 964 times by 0.85, and then it's over 3 years, so to the power of 3, because this is depreciation. Calculator for that, 964 times 0.85 to the power of 3 is 592.0165. So I'll just write down my whole answer, 592.0165, which to the nearest 10 is 590. So I'll write 590 for my final answer. SQA National 5 Maths 2019, Paper 2, Question 1. A charity distributed 80,000 emergency packages during 2018. The number is expected to increase by 15% each year. How many packages is it expected to distribute in 2021? So again, there's our amount, there's our percentage, and then the time we can work out is the difference between the years. So looking at the percent first, we start with 100%, we add 15% because it's going up, 115%, change that to a decimal, which is divided by 100, 1.15 is our key multiplier. So now we take our 80,000 times by 1.15 to the power of, well, the number of years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 3 years. Get a calculator, 80,123 times 1.15 to the power of 3, 121,670. 121,670. And we're done there. Example 10, SQA National 5 Maths 2021, Paper 2, Question 1. A housing development has been built. The price of a house built in 2020 is 250,000. This price is expected to increase by 4% each year. Calculate the expected price of a house built in 2022. So it's going over time. So I need to work out my multiplier, 4%, 100% plus 4%, 104%. Change to a decimal by dividing by 100. Use a calculator if you like. 1.04. And now it's just a times sum. 250,000 times 1.04 to the power, well, how many years is that? 2020 to 2022 is 2 years. If you can get that far, you've got 2 marks, one for the 1.04 and one for the sum squared. Now it's just getting the answer. 250, 123 times 1.04 squared is 270,400. So 270,400. And we're done there. 10. Tommy buys flower seeds from a website. He's given a 30% discount. He pays £16.10. Calculate the cost without the discount. No time in this question, so I'm probably dividing. So 30% discount, which means 100% minus 30%. That means he's paid 70%. So we know that 70% represents £16.10. We could go down to 10% and back up to 100%, hopefully. So let's just go down to 10%, divide by 7 to give me 10%, divide by 7. So that gives me 7 2s are 14, 2 left over, 7 3s are 21, and 0, £2.30 for 10%. So 100% must be £23. By Maths 2023, Paper 2, Question 1. A caravan was bought for £20,000 last year. £20,000, sorry. It depreciated by 11% in the first year, then it depreciated by 6% each year over the next 2 years. What's the value 3 years after it was bought? So this is a multiple one, which is the first time it's come up for a while in National 5, but it comes up in apps quite often. So it depreciates by 11%, so we do 100% minus 11%, which is 89%, which is 0.89. So that's our first multiplier, 0.89, and the second one's 6%, so it's 100% minus 6%, which is 94%, which is 0.94. And I can take a note for myself that that's the first year, so that's 1, and then that's the next 2 years, so that's 2. So then we start with our money, £20,000 times the first multiplier, 89, times the next multiplier, 94. But one of them's got a power. The first one's just 1 year, so it's just power of 1. The next one is 2 years, so it's the power of 2. And then we can do all that in our calculator. So £20,000 times 0.89 times 0.94 squared is 15728.08. 15728.08. Check there's no rounding to be done. Nope, so I'm done there.
Question 1. Dougie pays £460 for a new laptop. It's expected that the value will depreciate by 26% each year. Calculate the expected value after 3 years. So 100% minus 26%, 100, 90, 80, 74%. And that is 0.74. So you just do 460 times 0.74 to the power of 3 in your calculator. And we get 186.403, but 2 decimal places for money, so 186.40. 186.40, and we're done there. SQA National 5 Maths 2024 Paper 2 Question 5. This year the cost of Charlie's car insurance is £278.40. This is an increase of 16% on last year's cost. Calculate the cost of Charlie's insurance last year. No time means divide is what I usually tell people if it's not a basic percentage question. So there's no time, so I'm not doing appreciation. So it means I'm doing a reverse percentage. So let's see, this is an increase of 16% last year. So last year it was 100%. So that means that 278.40 equals 116%. So to work that out really quickly in a calculator, I just do 27840 divided by 1.16 as a decimal, divided by 100 first. Which is £240. And you're done there. Or you could divide by 116 and times by 100, same idea.
SQA National 5 Maths 2025, paper 1, question 4. And a sale wedding dress was reduced by 20%. The sale price is $720. Calculate the price before the sale. So I can say 20% off, 80% is equal to $720. And since 8 goes into 72, I can divide by 8 to get 10%. And divide this by 8. 8 and 9s is 72, so that's 90. Now I can go up to 100% by times them by 10. Times them by 10. Pound sign, £900, and we're done there. SQA National 5 Maths 2025, paper 2, question 1. The number of visitors in a zoo in 2024 was 118,750. The number of visitors is expected to increase by 4% per year over the next 2 years. What's the number of visitors in 2026? So we just do 118,750 times 1.04 to the power of 2. So in my calculator, 118,750 times 1.04 squared is 128,440. And we're done. This is Mr. Clelland for Clelland Maths. Today we did the whole percentages in National 5 Maths, covering appreciation, reverse percentages, calculator, non-calculator. Hopefully you found that useful. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.